Hansen and Bolden at the circle, and here's Rupert off the opening tip. Able glove puts it out top to City Sissoko, who spent a bunch of time with the San Antonio Spurs. Actually was part of their rotation for a little bit. Nice backup, and Sissoko sent it with his chest to start the game.
A great finish, but right off the bat, you see Yang's awareness and his ability to catch that basketball in the middle of the floor and make the right read. That's a really well-delivered back cut, perfectly timed.
Nice play call by Summer League head coach Ronnie Burrell. Alex Tui cross court, one more to Bolden. Dials up the three, a little bit strong, and rebounded by Bouknight. Bouknight was a high draft pick from the Charlotte Hornets a couple of seasons ago. Here's Love. Yang Hansen out top. Rupert got downhill and draws the foul on the play on Will Richard. And that'll put him at the free throw line. One more look at that nice delivery.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is what stands out, right? You watch him, you look at him on film. He absolutely has an understanding, particularly in the middle of the floor, of how to direct, as you've seen him do now a couple of possessions where he's directing traffic up there and understands exactly where the defense is going to be and anticipates where those cutters are going to be.
Yang Hansen made the Chinese national team and made his debut in the 2025 Asian Cup qualifier as Rupert knocked down the free throw. Portland Trailblazers last season finished up 36 and 46. 12th in the very competitive Western Conference. And there's a look at the numbers on Rupert. Just 21 years old.
Big numbers in the G League last year. Yeah, and he averaged almost 19 points a game in the G League.
And I love to see this full court pressure almost get a 5 count. Armstrong brings it up court for the Warriors. Here's Rowe trying to turn the corner, got peeled clean, and Rupert in transition raises up and puts it home. Portland out to a quick 6-0 lead. Tui, little sidestep, missed the layup. Blazers out and running again. Bouknight, one more to the Caleb Love from the corner, and a quick three, and a quick 9-0 lead for Portland.
And Caleb Love, a big-time college guard, and you can just see it right off the bat. And he's out here. Talked to him before the game. Like, he understands the importance of this and making that great first impression with Portland.
Will Richard, meanwhile, at the other end with the 3 ball for the Warriors. Make it a 2. It was a long 2. Love behind the Yang Hansen screen. Good hands by Armstrong to get the turnover. With the left hand, got blocked by Bouknight. And now Blazers with the 3-on-1. Love around the world. Book with the finish. Bouknight, erstwhile of UConn.
Which part of that did you like the best? The block on one end, the behind the back pass, or that incredibly creative left-handed finish?
There was a lot to like, Legs. I'll take all 3. Tui with the crossover. That's going to be a foul on Sissoko. Tui will go to the free throw line. Let's take one more look at that nice sequence a moment ago.
I mean, this is end-to-end. Right here, Bouknight comes in from the weak side to beat that up. Now you get out in the open floor. Caleb Love, nice job taking the ball deep against the one defender backpedaling. You force him to commit. That way the delivery is that much harder to defend. Very few guys are going to have that kind of reaction time.
Taron Armstrong was born in Australia. Burnie, Australia. Played 2 years at Cal Baptist. Averaged about 11 points per game. A lot of great players coming out of Australia these days. And contrary to popular belief, they don't all end up at St. Mary's playing for Randy Bennett anymore. They're
not all across, about 80%. Every now and then, one slips through the cracks.
Around the ball screen, Rupert downhill, left it short. Might have been partially blocked. And here come the Warriors, down by 9. Underneath, short little jumper. Man, Armstrong overcooked that. Pardon me, that was Tui. Sissoko on the break. Another impressive finish by City Sissoko. He's got 4. And we got a timeout.
Sissoko, power forward in the open floor, saying, hey, it's not just a guards game.
In Summer League head coach. Attended college at UNC Greensboro, assistant coach for the Blazers. Previously with the Brooklyn Nets before that. Isaiah Mobley, man, he lost Hansen, but left that 3-ball short. Made a great move. Everything but the finish. The brother of Evan Mobley. Spent a little time with the Cavaliers organization as well. And off the turnover, it'll come back the other way. Portland with a couple of substitutions during the break. Petula coming into the ball game out of Mississippi, undrafted this past year. Hansen out top. Nice cut by Carter and the layup. The big man with another delivery lane.
I'm gonna have some fun watching him pass the basketball this year in Portland. I mean, he just totally understands the flow of the defense and leverage. Perfect delivery on that cut, and you could just see his eyes scanning the floor up top, even when he's being pressured.
Not afraid of putting the ball in his hands. And
not at all. I mean, that is a creative delivery, a wraparound right-handed pass in traffic. I mean, that's a really tight window back there with 3 defenders.
And look at the round of applause. He gets a standing ovation from the Blazers contingent.
It's just mature, and you hinted on it. Like, this is a guy that's been around, so a lot of experience under his belt, a lot of confidence, and carries himself that way. Swagger to his game.
Here's Bouknight out top. Rupert got blocked but drew the foul. So Rupert will go to the free throw line. Yeah, I was told by my friends with media relations I could go full French on Rupert's pronunciation.
If you do, you're going to be.
Je parle un petit peu français.
You're now officially calling this game by yourself.
Yeah, j'ai étudié français pour 8 ans dans l'école.
Oui, oui. Yeah. I don't know, that's all I got. And I played 3 years in France? 3 months in Limoges.
And how much French did you learn?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
I thought I knew you better than that.
I did learn how to say, give me the rock, but I forgot how to say it.
Donnez-moi le ball. Rupert at the free throw line.
And he's been impressive here early.
Yeah, he has.
He's just very aggressive and great straight ahead speed. It seems like if he gets any sort of gap at all, he's going to put his head down and drive it aggressively at the defense.
He was drafted along with Wemby and Koulibaly and Sissoko back in 2023. A lot of those talented players coming out of France right now. He's up to 6 for the ball game. On the keep action, Shackelford gave it to the guy in the wrong uniform. Love missed the layup. Golden State Warriors stuck on 4. Hansen still a lid on the bucket. Good block by Yang Hansen. Bouknight on the drive, dishes. Rupert draws the foul, and 2 more free throws coming up for him.
And we've seen it now throughout the entirety of the first game, and here you see it again here. Young with the block at the rim, and the way that could just trigger your break, because you can see there's Golden State jerseys around the rim. You think you're going to get 2, and immediately, because of the block and the way it ricochets off the backboard, you've got numbers in the open floor that leads to something good for Rupert.
Rupert's sister Ileana actually played a couple of seasons in the WNBA. As he knocks down the first free throw.
One thing you notice right off the bat about Young as well is he's got some beef to him.
Yes.
He's got a good, strong face.
Watched him play for the Chinese national team a season ago as a 19-year-old in the California Classic up in Sacramento, and he was extremely impressive. He was very comfortable. Shackelford going to try another one. This one finally falls. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Golden State with 7 points. That corner 3 good by Tyson. And it's 26-7.
Portland just creating so much pace right now. A lot of energy defensively, and even after that made basket, they're able to get up the floor and get numbers. Here again, pushing it right down the middle.
Bouknight probes. Loses the handle in the corner. Hansen spins twice and got picked. Blazers back in transition. Strong follow. The second tick doesn't go. Another opportunity underneath. Foul and one. Bernard will go to the free throw line and try and complete the three-point play.
Nice job with the up fake to get the contact and then stay with it. You know, once you get him in the air right there, you've got to now extend that ball all the way out as far as you can with your left hand to get it over the reach of Young. You saw Young offensively go to that spin move. He loves that move, and it's very effective because he's, for the most part, pretty tight on that spin. It's pretty quick, but the hands that time, the activity level were better than the move, and he leads to a turnover.
After the free throw, it's 26-10. 1 minute to go. Bouknight on the bounce. Tyson for three. That's two of them now that he's made. That one was deep, logo worthy. Hansen lost it. They turned him over again. Rupert fouled out at midcourt. Inside out of bounds. As Armstrong comes back into the ball game to run the point for the Warriors.
And it's our fourth game now together over 2 days. I think this is the fastest team that I've seen out here end to end with what Portland is doing here in the first quarter. I mean, everybody that gets it has straight ahead speed, and that's the kind of pace that they clearly are trying to play with, and they've created a summer league team that's going to fit that.
Great point. Rupert from beyond the arc. Got a fortuitous roll. And Rupert with 11 points already. The uphill DHO, Richard. Cross court, great ball movement, but they couldn't cash out. Hansen missed the three. Bouknight in a rush, draws the hit. And two more foul shots. Man, they are really getting a lot of rim pressure today.
Man, you talking about they get that defensive rebound with 16 seconds, and there was no thought whatsoever on, one shot to end the quarter. And that was really 3-4 Warriors were back defensively, and it didn't matter. Bouknight still understanding this is the way that they're going to force the pace the entire time. If it's not there, you always have the secondary break if you want it. But this has been an all-out assault in the open floor that Portland has put on Golden State.
To the tune of 33-10 so far. James Bouknight was waived by Charlotte last February. Joined the Rip City Remix in October of 2024. Former lottery pick, number 11 overall. Boy, that ball was in the air a long time. Love couldn't get there in time, though. 4 on the shot clock and game clock. Armstrong got it. Maybe that'll give them a little momentum, Tim, going into the second quarter.
And that was created off their own push.
Love hit the backboard, unafraid to shoot it though.
That's right. That's a team. That's a team shot now. Understand that. Doesn't go in your box score.
Won't hurt
individually. That's right. Get them up.
Counting. But look at the diming going on by young Hansen.
Have a 21-point lead. We're with City Sissoko. City, a lot to like there about that first quarter. What impressed you guys most about that start?
I mean, we just play hard, man. We try to get to the paint first and make it tough on defense and be the first aggressor. So, I mean, we've been doing that for like 2 weeks, so it's showing up great right now. So, yeah.
You guys are showing your speed. How much has the pace of play helped you all?
I mean, we show like everybody can know the ball. Even our big man, he's doing a great job to see the court. We all we just play together every time, so it's good.
You know what it's like to make your summer league debut. What's impressed you about the way that Caleb Love has played so far?
I mean, it's great. He's a great player. He knows what to do. He's been a pro since a couple of years, so he know his job. So he's a good guy, great guy, and he's gonna go far.
Thanks, City.
Thank you.
It's interesting, Tim, we were talking about during the break, Sissoko's been in the league a couple of years. He's 21 years old out of France. Meanwhile, Caleb Love is a rookie. He's 23.
You talked about it. That experience, look, some guys, it's necessary.
Right.
I think for Caleb Love, it obviously was. Stellar career, able to do big things in college, and Portland clearly sees something in him. And tell you what, you go to a place with a head coach that played combo guard in this league as long as Chauncey Billups did, right? I mean, you know he's looking for those kind of guards that have certain qualities that he identifies with.
Rupert with 13 points, including 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Nice cut on the baseline and a little bit of jelly. And finished that time by Blake Hansen out of Pittsburgh. Good defense at the other end by the Warriors. Here's Armstrong. One more to the corner. Mobley. And blocked, but fouled by young Hansen. Hansen in a little bit of a polite disbelief.
That's him protesting the call, just sort of rubbing his palms together because he's thinking Mobley really has nowhere to go right there. He lost the ball on the catch in the corner. He thought about shooting a 3 and then had to drive it in to Young, who was waiting under the rim, and he really had nowhere to go. Behind the backboard, I think that's what Young was thinking. Like, this is kind of a bailout call because what was this attempt about to be?
Mobley at the free throw line, knocks down the second. 2 points in the ball game for him, and Golden State still with a daunting hill to climb. Book night out top. Hansen on the drive and lays it in with the offhand.
And you saw right there, I talked about his base and like his shoulders and his strength, because he took a pretty good shot there from Mobley, and it didn't really knock him off stride at all. So he was able to take one more dribble and finish with an easy layup.
Meanwhile, bucket at the other end by the Warriors makes it 38-19. Hansen out top. Good closeout by Mobley. 7 on the shot clock. Rupert already in double-digit scoring at 3 caroms off, and the Warriors out and running. Tough shot underneath and bucket. Boy, that's a classy finish by Jackson Rowe out of Cal State Fullerton, and a timeout. So that late 3, Tim, at the end of the first quarter carries over momentum-wise. They've whittled it down to 17. We won to NBA 2K26 Summer League here in Las Vegas, joined by Chauncey Billups now at our desk. Chauncey, thanks a lot for joining us, man. And
of course, man.
Congratulations on a strong, nice, impressive run to end the season. Moving forward, one of the guys that's getting a lot of eyeballs right now is the man with the ball, young Hansen. Tell us where he fits moving forward in the big picture, where you guys are going.
Well, I mean, obviously we have a really young team, with the exception of a few vets. But I think Hansen fits in very perfectly with our team. We got a lot of we want to play up and down, get up and down. He's a really good passer, very competitive, great touch around the basket. I think in time he has the touch to be a really good three-point shooter as well, you know, as he continues to build his game out. But really soft touch, you know, he's going to fit perfectly with us. We're very, very happy to get him.
Before I ask you my first question about your team, I got to ask you this. Did you hate doing TV with me that much? I mean, you was only like a year together, and then next thing you know, you're coaching. Hey, I forced you into coaching? Is that what happened?
Nah, bro. You were so good to me, man. You made my job very easy. I always appreciate what you did for me, Legs.
Hey, all right, let's get into your team, man. You really had a strong finish to the year, and some of that young talent started to blossom. I want to start with Shaedon Sharpe and what he's starting to turn himself into, because early on it was the SportsCenter highlight reel, but now it's much more than that. Talk about his development.
Yeah, it really is, and I thought this year, you know, once he can continue to focus on, one, just kind of playing with his teammates, but also defensively. You know, taking a challenge defensively every single night, knowing that he scores the ball pretty easy. You know, so if you want to play a lot of minutes for the head coach that he's playing for, he's going to have to play defense. And when he realized that, you know, his season got better.
Tell us about Caleb Love, a guy that's gotten off to a pretty good start here tonight. And he comes in, Chauncey's a little bit of an older prospect at 23 years old.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, obviously, you know, when you get guys that age coming into the league, they've been through a ton. I love guys that have a chip on their shoulder that have been through a lot, you know, and he's eager. He's eager to learn. You know, he's going to be in an incredible situation this year, being able to learn from Drew Holiday and even our young guys, you know, who will have, they're younger than him, Shaden and Scoot, but they have more NBA experience than him, so he'll be able to learn a lot from them as well.
Let me follow up on that with Drew Holiday. So obviously Anthony Simons, very talented, explosive, dynamic, offensive player. He's no longer there, and now you go with Drew Holiday. Talk a little bit about the mindset behind that and what he's going to bring to you guys.
Yeah, I'm just so happy, you know, to have Drew, and I had such an incredible time coaching Anthony, and I felt like, you know, from the time I've been there, Anthony has really grown to be a really good player. I'm happy for him and his opportunity, but to be able to get a guy like Drew, what better guy in the league could you have to raise Scoot and Shaden, you know, than Drew Holiday, two-time champion, Hall of Famer, you know, going to be a Hall of Famer in my opinion. But he can still hoop. He's not coming there to just be assistant coach. Like, he can still ball. He can still hoop. So he's going to have that opportunity to do so.
I spoke with Scoot Henderson for a minute a couple of days ago. He's been putting in some great work with Chris Johnson, his trainer out in Los Angeles. What kind of leap do you expect from him next year?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Scoot's having an incredible summer. He was little. He had a tough year last year, a little only because he didn't get to play basketball last summer. He was banged up. He was licking his wounds from the season. This year, he's been playing ball all summer. He's been working on his game, as you said. He is going to take an incredible leap this year.
Okay.
I really, really believe Scoot's going to take a big-time jump this year. And I'm along for the ride, man. We're ready for it.
I thought he was a can't-miss dynamic scorer guard coming out. Got to work on his efficiency. I'm sure he's going to get there. That's really good to hear about him. I want to talk about Denny Abdia. You unlocked something in him because he was a guy that was a high draft pick in Washington, but he took his game to a completely different level once he got to Portland.
Teams are trying to win the margins a little bit more. Is that a style that can be ubiquitous throughout the league? Is it something that you guys look at in terms of cranking up and maybe going 9 guys, 8 guys deep during the course of a game?
Well, we don't crank up right there. We were the first ones doing that. We were the first ones picking up full court, guarding everybody, scrapping, running all over the place. So, like, that was the only way we can really compete in the game, to try to pick it up like that. So we'll continue to be like that the entire time because we have to, you know. And why would you be young and not like play fast and pick up, rotate guys in? You might as well, you know. So we'll continue to play that way, and we try to make people very uncomfortable. You know, it's just what we enjoy.
You know what I'm curious about with you, man? So how are you better and more comfortable now?
Yeah.
Haven't been there a while. Like, you know, each year, obviously, you add to. What have you learned the most and how you've adapted and changed as a coach?
Yeah, man, so many things. I've been so many different renditions of this thing for me in the last 4 years, Legs. But I would say a couple of the main things. One is just my patience. You know, my patience. I've always been a pretty patient person, but this has challenged my patience a lot. You know, going through kind of a rebuild. But that's gotten a lot better, you know, and just understanding how to call the game is slowed down.
It's 30, followed by Lakers, Pelicans. The Grizzlies and Trailblazers cap our Day 3 coverage. Meanwhile, it is down to a 9-point game. And a chance to make it 7 now. Armstrong with great hands. Warriors have outscored the Blazers 21-9 in the quarter. Mobley underneath. Good defense by Hansen, forcing the miss. Sissoko makes the play call. Hansen banks it home. Yeah, he got the cash app. The bank might be closed. He's got 6.
Vegas ATMs are 24/7. I told you that.
You're right.
And I went like this. I pointed right when he let that thing go because it was right in front of me. I was like, that's off. And it was off right, but in the right kind of way for him. He'll take it.
Sissoko out top around the Hansen screen. They play pick and pop. He has quickly become the people's choice here. He has a couple of sections worth of fans, folks, right behind the Blazers bench, cheering his every move.
If he was smart, he would have tried to bank that one too. That way you look like you thought you meant it on the first one.
Here's Rowe out top. Chase action, rejects the screen, got downhill for the lay. Nice move, and the Warriors inching closer, making it a 7-point game. Rowe with 10 points on 4 of 4 from the field. Hansen fouled. He'll get a couple of shots. Here's the bank.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to extend this out there, but there's no question. He did not shoot that one very well, but a fortuitous bounce. I never complained. I don't recall actually banking a three-pointer in the game. I'm sure I did. I mean,
you had to.
Other than like a last-minute heave, I don't recall shooting on that off that banked in. I mean, I definitely hit the backboard first, but I don't recall them going in, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, to get the luck of the bounce and the kiss that he just got.
Hansen with 7 points on 2 of 3. You know, he had an interesting quote at the draft on his life interest. He said, quote, sometimes sleep. He says, sometimes I like to play PlayStation 5. I like to eat. Chauncey said, yeah, he's been taught the right way. One more look at this play. Hansen whistled for the foul. Mobley drawing the contact.
Yeah, there's some contact there in the air, but I mean, he went, Young went up vertical pretty well. But when you come down with your arm like that, even if you get mostly ball, you're more likely to get a call than not.
It was a long-sought pick, actually, Hansen. Portland traded the rights to Cedric Howard to Memphis to acquire him. You talk about the popularity of this game in China. I can remember years ago there was a game featuring Yao Ming and Yi Jianlai between Washington and Houston at the time, Lakes. The ratings were the equivalent of the Super Bowl in China.
Well, I think at one point, Yao Ming's jersey was the #1 seller worldwide. You know what the next 7 were? The rest of the rotation for the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Everybody watching those games, that's the impact that he has, and certainly Young trying to make his mark in this league.
A 3-ball long, rebounded by Caleb Love. They've had a 2-for-1 opportunity if they choose. Rupert tries to make one more to nobody. Sissoko wasn't in the neighborhood, and it's going to come back the other way. Warriors basketball down 11. And here's that full court pressure from Love. Chauncey Billups said this is the way that the Blazers played all year. It was interesting to hear him say that, and that they're continue to apply a lot of ball pressure.
And Chauncey was such a great two-way guard. He took this end of the floor very seriously in ball pressure, and he was a big guard that could switch on to twos pretty easily.
Vincent's 3 no good. Hansen with the board. Got to move quickly. Rupert, the lob. 2 guys went for it. Book. Got it to go at the buzzer. It'll count. And by rule, they will review the bucket to see if it counts, because it went through the rim as the buzzer went off. There's a look at it. And Book Knight on the cleanup. Looks like he got it off in time. Definitely just rally towards the end of the half. We're joined now by Portland Blazers center Donovan Kling. And Donovan, thanks a lot for joining us. And thinking about your rookie season that just concluded, what was the biggest adjustment that you feel you had to make early in the season?
I feel like number one for me was the pace of play and, how fast the game was. These are all high-level athletes flying around the court, moving at a high level. And I feel like coming from college to the NBA, that was one of the biggest things is, being able to change floors at, fast pace, fast speed, and being able to sustain it for a long time. And, I feel like that was one of the biggest adjustments for me coming into the NBA.
So Donovan, along those lines, talk about like the progress of your team throughout the season. I just was so impressed with the way you guys played the last couple months of the year. Where did you see the biggest growth as a team?
I feel like we really started to, connect and really just started to find out, really each other's games and how to play well together. And really we locked in on the defensive end. We really brought in defensively, which, carried over to the offensive end. And, if we build up on the defensive end and get stop after stop, we're gonna be hard to score against.
Donovan, speaking of defensively, can you take us back to your, if you still remember it, your welcome to the NBA moment? Trying to guard somebody? Was it any one moment, one play that you can remember?
I mean, there's definitely one welcome to the NBA moment. I remember playing in Portland against the Knicks. Cat had me one-on-one at the top of the key and, drove me right in one-handed dunk. But, that was definitely one of my welcomes to the NBA moments for sure.
And I'm sure there's going to be a moment like that for young Hansen.
Of course.
You see it.
Has a moment.
No doubt about it. We all have them. And I'm curious to get your initial thoughts on him. This was our first look at him in person. Really impressed with his passing. It just seems like his court awareness and his mobility for a big. What do you like what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's very talented. I feel like, he could play all around the floor, offensively, defensively. I mean, I feel like offensively, he's got all the aspects to the game. He can step out and shoot the ball. His footwork is very, elite. He can handle, and as you can see, he can finish around the rim. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, offensively, that play right there can tell you, what he does. And, defensively, just, playing in that drop with the activity, his size is, impactful. So, obviously he's just going to continue to learn and get better. And, it's going to be fun to, play alongside him.
Donovan, what kind of expectations have you set for yourself in year 2 coming up?
Really just taking the next step defensively and, offensively. Really being able to, help my team score when, needed and, back to the basket, whether that's tough shots around the rim, being able to roll out of the ball screen quicker, and, stepping out behind the three-point line and knock down the shot. I've been working really hard on my shot, making sure, keeping it consistent, all summer long. And, I'm really going to go in with a lot of confidence and, show everyone I can shoot. But defensively, it's, being that that rim protector that we need. Obviously we have a lot of great perimeter defensive men, and so, it's important that, I protect the rim with all those guys, pressuring the ball like that.
You talk about your offense and expanding your range, the three-point shot. How many makes a day from behind the arc for you?
I mean, I'd say between, 300 to 500 a day I was putting up, this summer, and, I'm still going to keep putting them up.
Okay. I'm sitting beside a shooter. Is that enough, Tim?
Yeah, I was going to ask you one last one to compare and contrast the intensity levels of Danny Hurley and Chauncey Billups. Who's more demanding?
I mean, I feel like it's two different games. It's hard to compare. Two great coaches that, have taught me a lot, and, I'm excited to play for Chauncey, man. He's a great coach. And
pretty quick, very confident in his range.
Boy, the Blazers really denying every single pass right out near the midcourt line. Tough bucket and one. Count it. That was Jackson Rowe with the tough hoop.
But that's nice. Takes that extra step at the end, gets the contact, and then has to go to the left hand sweeping shot to get that to go.
3:11 to go in the third quarter. Rowe at the free throw line.
Blazers have a look about them here, with this team and the way they're playing. and the defensive pressure they're applying and the speed they're playing with in the open floor, you might see this team do very well here. And
wouldn't be the first time they won the Summer League championship.
yeah, be playing for something here as we get deeper into this tournament, because they've got an intensity about them and a look in their eye, and I think that's reflective of their head coach sitting right over here a few seats away from us, and they know that his eye is on them and what his expectations are, particularly how you have to compete defensively to get minutes.
Nice cut and bucket, and another wonderful delivery by young Hansen. 5 points of the ball game for Carton. Working against that full court pressure, Shackelford into the front court. Whistle, and that's going to be, they call offensive foul on that? Yeah, we got a hook. Hansen, great read, and a wonderful cut for the bucket. The rookie out of China with some wonderful deliveries tonight. Great vision, Tim.
We said at the top, your first thing that was going to stand out to you was the playmaking and the vision, and you've seen all of that on display as well. You know, see him directing traffic. You see him repeatedly put the ball in his hip, tell guys to cut, and he points out where he wants them to cut. So he's really the top of the key. You see his head, his vision is always up. He's very good with his ball fakes, so none of his passes are telegraphed or tipped, because he uses the ball fake to set up where he wants to go.
And he's being grabbed. Rowe was holding him like next month's rent. Whistle and a foul called. Hey, we were talking about the great passing. Here he's getting roughed up in the post. The foul is going to go against Rowe. But what about some of the great passers that this franchise has seen already? Bill Walton, Sabonis, and maybe Hansen is next.
You know, and the other thing you're noticing more and more, and this is just another example of a team saying, you know what, you can't have enough size. Teams in the West are getting bigger across the board. Oklahoma City went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein. They just won a title. And the two big lineup wasn't as effective down the stretch as it was in a regular season, but still it was a difference maker. And you're seeing more and more teams in the West go get that second big, and that's exactly now what Portland has done. And he's certainly a different type of player than Klingen, but it'll be interesting to see if at times they want to play those guys together.
It's always nice to have that kind of option. If you're Chauncey Billups, Hansen with the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go in the third.
I mean, the Clippers have Zubac go out and get Brook Lopez. Yeah. Denver gets Valanciunas, and they're in a dispute right now to figure out if he's going to play. He might be in Greece. But still, they went out and they got that second big. Houston goes out.
They got three centers.
Yeah.
Capella.
So you look at some of these teams making moves in the West and trying to close that gap with OKC. They're all adding another big, not just as a backup at times, to go out there and give you the two big look. Now, one of the keys to doing that, one of them has to be a versatile offensive player where they can step out on the perimeter and be comfortable.
You run some delay action?
Exactly right. Obviously, young Hansen can do that. It's very important. One of those guys at least can do it. And both Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren are very good running DHO. Hartenstein, a really good passer from the top of the key. So to play just two traditional bigs that want to play in the paint, that's not going to work in the modern NBA. But you can play two bigs together if they complement each other's skills.
Interesting. In particular, the way it's going in the Western Conference, as you pointed out, with multiple bigs. Off the miss. Carton back to Hansen, the trailer, drives it into the paint. Nice sidestep, and couldn't connect.
He did everything right except switching it to his left hand. That would have been an easy left-handed finish. He had a tough angle to try to shoot that over the front of the rim with his right.
Hansen with the block. Into the corner, Tyson, he's 3 for 3, and that's his first miss from deep. Man, this Portland team still playing hard, despite the fact that they're up by 31. Everything young Hansen does is being cheered by the fans behind the bench. He's got 3 blocks tonight, too. Ball's out of bounds. It'll be Warriors basketball. As Aaron Armstrong comes in, here's a look at that defensive play.
Yeah, he's had a few of these tonight. This is great reaction time. So you're guarding a big on the post with his back to you, and you're able to quickly turn and get to the other side of the rim to defend a cutter. That's pretty high level mobility. And I'll tell you one thing, he is gasping for air right now. He's trying to find that second wind.
Doing everything but tugging on his shorts, hunched over. Whistle, foul, and one. And there's a product, maybe, Tim, of that fatigue you pointed out. Hansen fouling Bernard, going to the bucket.
Yeah, because one thing I can tell you for sure, and I don't even care what they've been doing in practice, nothing is going to replicate the pace of an NBA game, even in summer league. Yeah, he's right there. You can see right there. The only thing missing is a scuba tank right there. He's just trying to find it.
His lungs are on fire.
That's it.
People sometimes underestimate the conditioning it takes to play high-level basketball.
Well, everything you do, and in an environment like this, everything is so competitive. All these guys trying just to open the eyes of someone, so you're just constantly under duress and pressure and physical contact. It really wears on you and drains your legs.
That's the end of the third quarter. Carton with the three-point miss. Repair leading the way for the leaders with 20 points and 7 rebounds. And young Hansen. Get to know the name, folks, especially if you're in the Pacific Northwest.
And have it for an entire season.
I think it's huge. I mean, with anything in life, the more time you spend around something or with whomever, you know, you get acclimated and accustomed and build the relationship and confidence amongst each other. And, you know, I thought we found some of that. Obviously, it's never going to be whole and complete, and so you spend a lot of time with each other. But, you know, I'm glad, you know, our front office is keeping, you know, them three obviously together, and then, you know, having our young guys be a part of it as well. So for us young guys, we're just, you know, we know they only got so much time left. It's like avoiding the inevitable. So we're just trying to, you know, do what we can to help win.
I know part of your offseason has been about getting healthy, but when you think about your game in this upcoming season, where do you want to take a step in your play?
I think there's a few things. I think, you know, first and foremost, I was blessed to have 12 playoff games. And in the playoffs, it's really magnified, and it really shows and highlights your weaknesses for every player. And so to be able to play 12 games and have that experience, it showed me I need to, you know, be able to create my own shot, be able to get a bucket whenever that may come. And to have a third, you know, reliant scorer behind Steph and Jimmy, I think it's important. And like everything, all good teams need role players to play well.
I know you've been learning from Steph since you were drafted by the Warriors, but what have you learned from Jimmy in your short time with him?
Just, you know, his mentality is similar to Steph, but it's different in how they show it. You know, he is always a big confidence guy. He doesn't really show too much emotion unless it's called for him, talking about Steph. But Jimmy, you know, he likes to show his emotion, but he also has a composure about him. He knows he's one of the best players out there, and he likes to breathe confidence through his role players, and that was evident since he got here. And so just, you know, he may not know it, but just the impact he has on us role players, trying to make that step being like him and Steph, you know, helps us a lot.
I know he's not your teammate, but this is our first time getting to see young Hansen. Just what are your early impressions of his play?
Yeah, this is my second time seeing him. I think he played in the Cali Classic last year for Team China. So I got to see him play a couple games against, I think, Sacramento and maybe Charlotte. But yeah, he's good. Obviously, like any young player, you're going to have things like growing pains that you got to work through. But I think the situation he's in, he's got Donovan Clingan, who's kind of a similar big to him. Yeah, I mean, you can see the IQ of the game, the passing, all that kind of stuff is there. And then, you know, over time, he'll fine-tune the rest.
We appreciate the time, Brandon. Thank you so much, and best of luck this upcoming season.
I appreciate that.
Mark.
All right, great to see Brandon Podziemski courtside, and interesting to hear him, Tim, talk about being able to take that next step and develop his game to the point where he can get his own shot. That's going to be a big piece of the puzzle for Golden State in terms of another bucket getter, right?
I love that, and I think he's spot on. I think that's where it's got to come from. And I think one thing that stands out about him, he's a winning player. He comes up with 50-50 balls. He's always willing to slide over defensively and make a play for a teammate, draw charges.
Great rebounder.
Very good rebounder for his size and his position. So that really is the next level. Being able to create some offense that he can't currently. And look, I'm always going to say this about any guard in the league. Continuing to extend your range and improve your efficiency from the three-point line. So I really like watching him play because he seems like he's got his fingerprints on a lot of winning that goes on in Golden State. And it's nice to see him identify the areas he wants to work on.
Winning player. And if you want to know where to find him, you can find him at Chase Center during a lot of the Golden State Valkyries games. Folks, he is their full-time, not part-time, full-time courts against Denver at 10 p.m. Eastern time. On the break, Richard got the nice layup and one. Well, this is day 2 of NBA Summer League. Saw Cooper Flagg last night. Bronny James. Dylan Harper still to make his debut. We're anticipating seeing him tomorrow with the San Antonio Spurs.
Nice debut for Trey Johnson in our first game tonight as well.
He looked very comfortable. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay that end. Portland basketball. Yeah, Trey Johnson had 18 points in 21 minutes, as efficient as it comes, and McNeely was pretty good too. 7 of 16 from the field for the Hornets. What are you expecting out of Cooper Flagg in his next run? Went 5 of 21. We called it last night.
He called it the worst game he's ever played.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know if I'd go that far, but he obviously really struggled shooting the basketball and finishing it off. Did a lot of nice things in that game. I think he's just obviously looking to have a much bigger scoring game, shoot the ball better, be more efficient from the field, maybe not force the issue quite as much as he was in trying to make that great first impression as a #1 pick. You almost understand that mentality, but he was taken in some tough spots and took some very difficult contested shots off the dribble. So I'd like to see him let the game come to him a little bit more offensively, while showing, continuing to show the versatility and just have a better, more efficient night as a scorer.
Well, there's more to basketball than just getting buckets, but what you make of him at the defensive end, and what do you expect in terms of any potential improvement in that end of the floor?
Yeah, I think defensively he's going to be an impact guy right away because he's just rangy and he's got great feet.
Right.
And the most important part, Jonesy, about him, and it has stood out since he first burst onto the scene at the AAU level at probably 14, 15 years old. He just has a tremendous amount of want to on that end. It matters to him a lot. Probably even more than the offensive end. So I was impressed with his defense. I was probably most impressed with his ball handling up the floor against that level pressure, and only had 1 turnover, which came late in the game. I mean, he was hounded up the floor the entire night.
Hey, listen, if San Antonio blitzes him on the opening tip like the Lakers did,
no doubt. And we, of course, talked about a little bit some of the things, I think, with his release and the way the ball comes off his hand from deep. That's not going to fix itself overnight. But I think the one thing to look for in his second game is just letting the game come to him a little bit more offensively in terms of scoring opportunities. And when you do that, it's amazing how things will loosen up for you anyway.
That'll be on ESPN tomorrow afternoon. Warriors with the bucket for Madsden. Here's Caleb Love around the Hansen screen. Back over to Rupert. Caleb Love with a logo 3, and it's wet.
I mean, he just got a nice game, right? I mean, he just looks so comfortable.
Looks like an NBA player already.
Absolutely.
Shackelford from deep. And here's Book Knight. Book pushing the pace and whistling a foul. Young Hansen not afraid to get in the mix.
Noticed it pretty early, and I asked Chauncey about it. He said he seeks it out.
Yeah.
He mixes it up a little bit. He's going to find himself in some, I think, some skirmishes early on.
Well, he's got 6 fouls. You're allowed 10 in Summer League play, and there's a look at the contact.
Well, FIBA basketball can be a little rough. He's used to it. Timeout.